Ever feel your brain is both speeding up and slamming the brakes? Well, here's how I figured out that inner tug-of-war is actually my strength and not a flaw. This week, I had a great chat with Dr. Noreen Russell, and we talked about how ADHD is go, 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 and the autism spectrum disorder is slow, 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 or stop, stop, stop. I prefer the slow, slow, slow because never completely stop. I figured out with my ADHD, but in the end, we all get the point on what we're talking about. I really enjoyed this conversation because it made so much sense to me. Me being diagnosed with severe ADHD and also the mild autism, which is also known as Asperger's. And the difference between the two, I really enjoyed her explanation. So the ADHD brain is creative. I'm not saying that the autism brain is not creative, just in a different way, but the creativity is more about energy and drive, okay? And it's a go, go, go. And just like Dr. Hollowell says, that ADHD brain is like a Ferrari engine with bicycle brakes. And that's how I like to explain the ADHD brain. It's go, go, go at all costs. But the brakes that we have are under strength for the brain part. And I like that. Now, the ASD, the autism brain, is really about stability and careful consideration. And I never realized that. Well, it made sense to me when she said it. I think I did realize it. It was just more the point of hearing it and how it's really important to understand those differences. And it really makes sense to me. So in a way, in summary, well, I'm not done yet, but the difference between the ADHD and the ASD brain, ADHD propels and the ASD brings steadiness into calm. Okay. So in a way, the ADHD brain can propel the autism brain into action. And yet the autism brain will bring steadiness and calm to the ADHD brain. And for me, that made a huge impact to me because that's exactly how I go, 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 go. Then I slow, 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 slow. And I never understood why. I'm procrastinated. I'm afraid. You screw up. You're too chicken shit to do stuff. Like, why can't you move on and move on? So how Dr. Russell explained it just immediately clarified it for me. It's not a character flaw. It's my autism brain saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to bring some steadiness and calm down so that we can get your drive and energy moving forward. So like for me, it was the highlight of understanding. It's not a moral failure that I'm having here. It's actually my brains, my same brain with two, different influences, but the two different wirings are at times supporting each other and sometimes fighting each other. And maybe I have to start paying attention better to understanding when there's tension, what's going on, not think it's a moral failure and I'm just not successful or I'm too chicken shit to try things. And that really removed a lot of my self-hate as well by understanding that part. So a lot of times I'm very impulsive, but at the same time, I'm very cautionary, and that really frustrates people, or actually it causes me a lot of angst sometimes that I got too much caution, and maybe I'm not wired to be an entrepreneur, or maybe I'm just not doing what I should be doing. But in the end, it was just my brain saying, let's slow down and control this go, go, go part, and that it's supporting you, not fighting you. And that was the big insight as well for me. And I used to believe those were limiting beliefs. In a way, they are, but for other triggers. So a lot of the stuff that I would just assume was a limiting a belief, which actually had no triggers, is actually my autistic brain and actually my ADHD brain as well, because these were actually offering logical pauses for me. And I'm really thinking that process through now. Is just having that chat with Noreen really opened up my eyes that I got different brain messages. Okay. They're not necessarily conflicting. They're just in tension. And I got to start paying attention to that tension. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Should I slow down a little bit, or should I speed up more? Okay. And for me, now that I understand, I got an ADHD part of my brain talking, I got an autism brain part of me talking. It's my wiring talking to each other, not my limiting beliefs that is built on past trauma or on triggers. And that's where I'm seeing the difference, where I'm getting a lot of resistance. When I want to slow, it's actually, I'm feeling more as being pulled back. It's someone's pulling the reins on me, or go, and starting to push me, versus the limiting beliefs part or the fear part. Because that was the big insight for me, was the inner conflict. I just assumed that limiting beliefs were fear. So when it's my brain pushing me, it actually kind of feels like I'm getting physically pushed or physically pulled back with the autistic brain is different than when I'm fearful. Now that's more of an emotional response. So I got more of a physical feeling. I think that's my brains, my two different brain types talking to each other or talking to me and saying, hey, slow, or go, versus the fearful part, which is emotional, and we can get triggered. And then with that triggering, we can fall back into past habits or past self-protection mechanisms that we don't consciously control quite yet. So for me, I had a great understanding of the two types, like those two brain parts talking to each other was a huge insight for me. And I think this is why this really helps you as an entrepreneur to have an ADHD brain or an autistic brain over the neurotypicals. Even the neurotypicals have their own challenges and differences. It's just that theirs are more socially accepted and understood, while ours is only uniquely to us. So this type of stuff, if we can explain that it's my autistic brain wanting to slow, because remember, the autistic brain wants structure and how do you go? Structure and calm in a way. And the ADHD brain is all about go, and fast. And that could be physical and or mental, right? Like mental, like your mental brain processing. Okay. And I really liked how Noreen summarizes ADHD propels ideas. They propel the idea while the autistic brain ensures follow through. So if you think you don't have the proper follow through and you have an autistic brain, I think it helps you. But I think a lot of times we're ignoring the autistic brain at times, because I think for me, I was misunderstanding it as limiting beliefs and some triggering systems to protect myself. But it's not. The difference is the physical feeling of being pushed, propelling, or being reined back to get the structure and calm from the autistic brain versus fear being an emotional response. And I'm feeling that from two different ways. So when I'm being pulled, this kind of feels like it's like I got a harness around me, around my shoulder or my core. And then someone's pulling rope saying, whoa, slow down. And then I got two hands on my back pushing me saying, go. Versus the fear is more right in my chest and that feeling emotional and I got to go small. And those two, I'm just going to start paying attention to my body sensations now because of that. Now I can have a better conversation, understanding. Is it a fear that I have, or is it my ADHD brain talking to me, or my autistic brain? And this self-awareness has really transformed the way I see this stuff, because, autistic brains, we want a comfort zone and business sense. And we have tremendous strengths. It's just not understood. I think it's the issue. It's so different and nonlinear that it's just not understood. Don't feel ashamed or threatened or scared to explain to people that your brain's wired in this way and you've got natural talents and unique strengths to move things forward. It's just done differently. Take ownership of your differences. And how do you see your neurodivergent traits as assets? Okay. They can be obstacles, but most times they're assets if we manage them effectively. So I want to hear from you. Email me at André, the Impulsive Thinker.com, and let me know how you view your neurodivergent traits as an asset. So thanks again for learning with me. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.